back to Mommy Confessions.
Hey.
I am your host, that chick Angel, also known as Angel Lakita Moore, and this is my co-host,
Quinn Walters, y'all.
Yes, if this is your first time tuning in to Mommy Confessions, hello, welcome, how you doing?
Hey, y'all.
Mommy Confessions, if you've been watching for a while, the format has changed. I used to have a different guest every single episode, but now I have an actual co-host. I'll have my girlfriend Quinn, and then when my other girlfriend comes off from maternity leave, we'll also have Denora Walcott. So you'll be able to get more of our girlfriend flavor. We're going to be honest and open about all things womanhood, all things mommy, and occasionally we'll have a special guest. So don't worry, you still will get the unexpected getting to know someone else.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's going to be me and my chica. My chicas, I should say.
Amigas.
Yes. Well, you can follow me at That Chick Angel across all platforms, and you can follow Quinn
At Quinn Walters on all my platforms.
So, yes, and you can follow Mommy Confessions here, wherever you're at.
Yes.
Wherever you're listening, watching, follow it, subscribe to it, all that stuff. Mommy Confessions, an open, honest conversation. And we're going to jump into our open and honest conversation with a confession. As always, we start off with a confession. So, my confession this week is that turning 40 this year, 2020, getting money, and just turning 40
Come on.
is the most excited I've been about any age.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I was not excited about 30. I was
Really?
not.
Why?
Like, I enjoyed my 20s. So I was just like, it can't get no better.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you thought it was downhill from 30.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
it was. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. My 20s were definitely still better. I feel like my 30s were about growth in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And, you know, as me and my husband, we talked about on our podcast, is this going to cause an argument? He, in 2019, had a lot of growing pains. I feel like I had growing pains through most of my 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like, the maturity that I was doing, the things that were happening in life, the accountability I was having to take with the path my life was taking, that was a lot of growing pains. And I feel like in your 20s, any stupid mistakes we make are because we're in our 20s.
Because we're in our 20s.
Right. But once you hit your 30s, it's just like eventually you just have to start being accountable. You have to start looking at the mistakes you're making and making better choices.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
So with my 40s, while I still don't have everything figured out, I feel like I've figured out a lot of things, and I'm excited to execute those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited.
Execution day.
I had told my husband, again on our podcast, one of my words for 2020 is authority. And walking in the fact that I'm an authority on a lot of things. You know, a lot of times I try to, it's not that I try to play small, because that's not really my zhuzh. I try to play ignorant sometimes. Not ignorant as in like, but ignorant as if I don't already know. I know. And I need to walk in the fact that I know. I need to walk in the fact that I actually know the right thing. That I am not just an authority, I'm an expert on a lot of things. And sometimes I always like to like lend, like give that title to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what, let me ask this person because they're the expert on it. And then I be knowing what they say. Yes.
The whole A to Z.
Right.
Got multiple degrees over here.
But I realized I was like, okay, that was, I don't know what that was about me and what that, while I love being a student, that's a part of it, is that I love being a student. I love learning. I need to realize that at 40, I am the teacher.
Yeah. You have learned a lot in 40 years.
Yes, exactly. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to take the doer and a little bit of the teacher role. I'm more excited to do than to teach others. But if someone asks me, I do not mind teaching. And I'm going to get up from the desk. I've graduated. And I need to walk in the, you've graduated.
Honey.
Angel. Come on.
Okay, put the on the other side. Put the top on the other side.
Yes, yes. So that's 40 is a lot of that. I'm out of having children age. I'm no longer having any more kids. My husband took care of that.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you sure?
Yeah. Even though he's still making sperm, girl. He is still making sperm. Yes, he had to take a sample in. This is not me telling his business. He told it on the podcast. And he still got super sperm. So we still got to take.
You ain't in the safety zone.
We're not. So we're not in the safety zone. But I am no longer willingly making children. That's what we'll say. Whoops. Yeah. Hopefully there'll be no more whoops. So like, it's really, while yes, obviously I'm still going, my life still has a lot to do with my children and me making sure, because they're still young, but knowing that like I now know what the first branch of my legacy looks like. That's the 4 boys that I made. Yes. So like, I don't have to like wonder like, oh, I mean, yes, grandchildren way down the line, but right now this is it. This is the team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, like 40 represents that too. Like no more babies.
Oh my goodness.
No more babies. I can love on other people's babies. When you have another baby, when Brescia starts making kids, if Denora hasn't, like I can start loving on those kids. But my womb is now, you know.
Your womb has left the building.
Yes, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? No,
well, it's still there, but just it's not being used.
It's not in use anymore. She has been retired, and I'm okay. She's done me well.
Yeah, yes. She's done you got the best children. Yeah, I love my nephews.
Thank you. So, what is your confession, Miss Walter?
Yours was so like amazing and full of life and wisdom.
You were a mess.
Mine is not even all that.
That's why. Listen, that's why there's 2 people here, because it ain't got to be the same. Okay?
I know. Like I almost want to go into this. Yeah, no. But I that's not my confession.
Please believe. But next episode, mine will probably be on some trash. So go ahead.
My confession is I have this obsession with contamination, right? And so every day, my daughter, and including myself, we use a different washcloth.
Every day you use a different washcloth?
Every day, because you use that one, so it's dirty.
So how many washcloths do y'all have?
So I have a whole shelf of cloths, the small body cloths. So there's rows and rows and rows. And I wash, them together once a week, you know, so we have plenty, but, yeah. And people talk about me so bad. And don't y'all go talking about me either. But I have this thing about like, you used it, you cleansed your parts, it's done. Like we're not using that. You're not gonna go back the next day and like add more soap and then re-put that on.
Like, I mean, you're right. It is contaminated. Like, I can't lie to you.
Is it okay? Okay, it's okay.
I mean, I don't do it. You also probably use a separate rag for face than body.
Yes. So there's a separate. Well, sometimes I just use my facial scrub and I'm scrubbing with my hands. But if I do, yes. And for her, because she's not scrubbing her face at 5. Yes, she has a separate face rag. Now, the face rag, hot water, little soap, you can use that the next day. But I'm talking about the body parts. We ain't using that again. And it's so funny because, like, my mom, my dad, my best friends, my siblings even, they all tease me about it. And I'm just like...
Because they weren't like it. You made that up on your own.
Well, microbiology.
She's like, I took the class.
In college.
Okay.
Yeah, changed my life.
I mean, well, you know better, you do better.
And so, see,
you do.
That's why you're my friend.
I don't know better, so I don't do better. We use that same rag, and the rag that's on my face is going on my tail. Yep.
And your skin don't break out.
You see my skin. You see my skin.
Well, maybe I should put ash juice on my face. Maybe that'll give me some clearer skin.
Listen, I'm just saying, I don't have time for it. But I get it. I know people who are, you're not the only person.
I'm not the only one? Oh, okay.
No. I know somebody else who actually stayed with us. And they were like, can we have another? I was like, wait a minute, you need another wash rag.
Wait, they use your rags?
Well, because they were staying with us.
Oh, so they were
visiting.
Okay, so that's another thing, right? Oh. So when people visit my house, I buy them their own rags and towels and body towels to dry off with. Because
so do you throw those away after they leave?
They stay in a separate part of the closet because it's like my brother or my best who I know, and they have color coordinated. Like I know Shaquita's color is yellow, Lindsay's color is pink, so the yellows stay, and they stay until they return and revisit me. And no one's using those.
Okay.
They're not in rotation.
Okay, it's just theirs.
My mom is purple, and then I'll buy new ones for you, but like
Come on, bank account. I just don't have
It's not my bank account. It's not my bank account, okay? It's Target. You know what I'm saying? It's $5 for 5. Okay? So everybody get their own little stack. And it's just in my mind, I'm like, I don't think they would want to use the rag that I've used on my parts. So I'm thinking I'm being considerate. But like it's the whole thing, right? Hotels have towels and rags, and you know those have been used by everyone.
So you bring your own.
I bring my own towel to the hotel.
I know people bring their own sheets.
And I'm about to start bringing my own sheets because I just saw a special on Dateline when they took the dang on black light and had all the granimals in bed with you. Do you hear me? Okay, sleeping with you, organisms, slivery, slimy things.
I can believe it.
I can't.
I can believe it. So listen, my hat goes off to you. I am too lazy to have those aversions. I am.
But obviously, it's my OCD, right? Obviously, I have a problem because people been living life. People been sharing rags. People still alive. People still alive and beautiful, glowing skin. It ain't no affect nobody. But
listen, I'm ready for the apocalypse. I'm ready for zombie nation. When we don't have a lot of washcloths, and you just have to. You
just gotta be dirty, right?
Exactly.
You're gonna share a washcloth with a stranger. The day I would just die.
Yeah, I know.
I would just die. Like I can't go camping. Like for real camping, I can go glamping. Yeah. But like for real camping, like on the ground, like no running water.
It's a lot.
You gotta use the restroom in the hole in the ground, and what are you wiping with? Like I can't.
My husband would love for me to be that person, and a part of me would love to be that person. That person that's just so OCD. That's just like everything germs, blah blah. I'm not that chick. I was born in Baltimore. Okay,
I was born in Chicago, but it was microbiology.
It's that class.
They did right. It was different. It was like germs on everything. So. No, I'm not like, I don't walk around with gloves on. Like, I can touch anything, anywhere. But you better believe I'm going to have some rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle in my purse. And I'm going to disinfect. And I'm going to run to the restroom and wash with soap and water as much as I can. On an airplane, I'm the woman with the Clorox wipes. And I'm wiping down everything. The table tray and the little things that you turn at the top.
I know people like that.
And then the seat. But because people do disgusting things on airplanes. They clip their toenails, they dig in their nose.
They do a lot.
They dig in their ear, they do everything, and then you touch that stuff.
I'm going to pause you right here because I hear my baby crying. I'm going to get him and I'll be right back.
The baby.
And we are back. Yes, I know people who disinfect the goddamn plane basically when they get in there. And I do. I wish I was that person. I wish that I was on, because my husband, when I tell you, he washes his hands so much, you would think he was going into surgery. Like
I didn't know Marcus was like that.
Oh, Marcus is he has great hygiene. I love it because I don't like a dirty man. I do not like a dirty man. But he showers longer than I do. He brushes his teeth for so long. Like it's
you like your teeth are clean.
Yeah, but they are like his teeth are impeccable. He does not go to the dentist very often, and his teeth are in great shape. Like. When I say not often, we don't go often. But he's in.
That's another confession.
we'll save that one for a different episode. Yeah. If you're watching, you just saw my mom walk past the screen. She is recovering from shoulder surgery. So if you are a praying person, be praying for my mother, Dorothy Moore, for her recovery. Yes. But yes, no, I do sometimes wish I was that. I sometimes, this is a different topic, and we'll do it for the next episode. I'll save it. Okay. I'm going to talk about the difference between being a woman and a lady. We'll talk about that next episode that we're going to film. So make sure you come back for that.
I made your face.
Yes, I sometimes wish that, and maybe that's why God gave me boys, is that He was like, you're not going to do right. So let me just give you.
You're not going to do right by the girl.
Yeah, let me just give you these dirty little boys, so that because I know you're not going to be all like weirded out by the crap they bring in. I'm just going to be like, wash it off.
That's another thing. When my baby would poop on her onesie, the onesie is trash.
Oh no. I'm spraying it off in the sink, and then it's going into the washing machine.
In what sink?
I spray it off in like we have.
You have a laundry sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just throw it away.
She said, "Oh, so you could have never cloth diapered." Yeah, I cloth diapered all of my kids, but this one.
I remember.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
She's putting Dookie back on her child.
That's amazing.
Horrible is what you were saying.
I was the student.
You
were my teacher, and you were teaching me how to not be that much of a germaphobe and how to keep your children alive.
She was dying on the inside. It was like, cloth diaper in the street, but we cloth diaper.
No, but everyone before babies born in the 70s had cloth diapers. Yeah. So it was like that doesn't bother me. But that's another topic. I'm like, well, before sanitary napkins and tampons. Okay, that's another.
She's like, okay,
let's not go there.
Okay, she's like,
but
you're like a germaphobe right here.
I just listen. I'm not as bad as some people with the mask and the gloves. So but I'm just aware. I'm just aware, and I try not to. And my daughter can play outside, and she can roll around. Like, it's all good.
Yeah, but
we're just gonna clean up afterward.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I would have a different perspective if I had taken the microbiology class that you took. But part of me thinks that my spirit of laziness would be like, Lord, cover me.
Rewind.
No, I'm telling you.
The spirit of laziness does not live upon you, Angel.
In that area, it does. Like if
in that area. Yes. Because in life, you are the hardest working woman that I know. Next to your mother. Okay, the tree and the apples, like they work as hard. Like, but that's amazing.
That's work. Like when I hear you say that, it like all the.
Oh, that's work.
Yeah, that's extra work in my head. I'm like, so we got to wash all these rags, and we got to fold them all back up and put them. I got to make sure I put 2 rags in the shower with me and not just one. That's a lot. That's what it equates to me. It's work, don't it, baby? It equates to work. Back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to jump into the topic of today. All right, so Quinn and I are moms to not very old kids. Her oldest is 5. Her one and only is 5. My oldest is 10. Then I have 2 4-year-olds and a 5-month-old. So we still have a lot of years of parenting ahead of us if God is merciful. Amen. We have several years ahead of us. Yeah. And there is a territory neither one of us have entered yet. And that is the teenage years. Ooh. And I know what everybody says about, you need to be blessed that you had boys, because when girls become teenagers, they become a handful. Yeah. And I mean, granted, I don't think of myself as being a handful when I was a teenager, but we're going to do that first. We're going to go down memory lane of what we were like as teenagers, specifically around the 16-year-old age where we really start feeling ourselves. We think adulthood is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? We've come out of a lot of the unsureties that middle school offer when you're like 12, 13, 14. You're still kind of like, what the heck is going on in life? 16, you kind of hit a little bit of a stride, hopefully. Right. A little bit. You know who you like. You're kind of figuring out how you like to be or whatever. And let's go down memory lane of how we were, and then we'll jump over to what our hopes are and how we want to be parents for our 16-year-olds. You've got 11 years, so you got a whole nother decade before that happens. True. I don't have that.
You don't have that much time.
Do not have that much time upon me. So
you got a pre-teen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Quinn, what were you like as a 16-year-old, as a teenager? Sorry for the coughing in the background. I have a child that apparently has tuberculosis.
He does not have tuberculosis.
He is coughing so hard.
That poor baby.
He's had that cough since like the day after Christmas. That cough came upon him, but I know it's gonna go away. We just letting him cough it out. But go ahead.
As a 16-year-old, I was very, very active. I was on the cheerleading team, the drill squad, the step team. Mm-hmm.
Performer. That's what you were.
Honey, I was in the drama club. I did everything, like whatever I could get my hands on, I would do, and I would dance, everything. And as far as like personality-wise and like interacting with my parents, I feel like I would like to believe like that I was a good kid, but like I know like I popped off at my parents.
Wait, how were you popping off? What were you doing?
I just remember like just feeling myself, you know, you 16, you think you cute, you think you know it all, and you're in your bag all day, every day, and anything that they say is like, oh, y'all don't know, oh, y'all are older, oh, y'all are stupid, and like, well, I never call my parents stupid or anything, but like, this is what you think.
This is what I'm
thinking, right? Kept it quiet, but I'm thinking, and I could just remember being very emotional and like crying a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like I was that girl. Like oh gosh, now I'm embarrassed.
No,
but like
embarrassed.
It's like, I mean, I was a straight A student. I was a good kid in that way, very active and like an honest kid, and I didn't do anything, like I didn't get in trouble, nothing like that. But I just do remember being an emotional type of teenager, and like forcing my parents to always have to like check me, like verbally check me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to get at me, like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had to get at me, but it wasn't like every day. It wasn't like I was just this terror just every day, like popping off. Like it wasn't that. It was just there were moments, there were times, you know, and there were situations where I would just get emotional and I would be crying and stuff, and they would just, you know, or I would just. And I'm trying to think, like, did I ever get on punishment in high school?
Were you popping off like that to that extent?
No, that type of behavior was like when I was younger, and I would get on punishment. But I don't think I ever got on punishment when I was in high school. Oh, but I do remember this one time, right? So. Okay, so we used to have these parties in Chicago, right? Like teen parties. So they would, I don't know who these people were who were throwing these parties for us, but they would rent out like a loft. And so all of us high schoolers would like go to this loft, and it would be playing juke music and twerk music and stuff like that. And it was like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock to like 1 a.m. or something like that. Oh, wow. Right? It was like for real, like adult times. So, you know, you ask, can you go? I ask, can I go? Boom, yeah, you can go. Okay, but you have to be home like before midnight. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the party. Now, like, I know I have to leave, but I'm having fun. So we in there, we doing, you know, the same dance moves that you and your husband did in your video. You know what I'm saying? We pop, lock, and drop in and all of that stuff. In walks some lady, and she's like looking for her kid. So we all like, ooh, somebody in trouble. Like, ooh, this is crazy. Like, you know, you're supposed to be at home. Like, ooh. Everybody like, ooh, somebody mama here, somebody mama here. I'm like, ooh, somebody mama here. What? It's my mom.
It was Miss Iris. Oh my
God. At the party,
Quinn says,
all my peers, I'm like, no.
Quinn, are you serious?
I died. And to top it off, why was she wearing a muumuu? My mama don't even wear muumuu.
Of course, she said, if you gonna be out here, I'm gonna embarrass you.
She don't even wear muumuu. Like, did you buy a muumuu just so you could walk up in here? Because you don't even own that. Yeah. Why are you wearing that? Coming up with the full long dress, I'm like, ugh.
Did you escape out of there before she saw you?
No.
Oh, Quinn, I would have been like, oh,
skedaddle, right? Skedaddle. I was like, oh, that's my mama, and I just had to mosey on out. I was so embarrassed, but my dad was pissed because he was like, I told you that you had to be home, and so my mother literally was up in there like after midnight, like yanking me, like she didn't yank me, but you know,
my mother
would
have beat me in front of everybody.
See, thank God my parents were not those parents.
So my mother never told me yes to any of those parties, so I mean, like, so I didn't have to worry about that because she would have whooped me.
Girl. So yeah, that was so like, I think that was like the extent of like the bad thing that I did in high school. Again, I think I was more of an emotional type of person. I was just trying to find myself, my emotional self, but I knew early that I would channel that energy towards my craft, towards acting. And so that's who I was. Who were you at 16?
At 16, I was horny. That's what. Wasn't having sex, but I was horny.
Wait.
Horny. That's what I remember.
How did you know you were horny if you were not acting?
Well, I wasn't doing that.
But how did you know that that's what that was?
Because I knew what I wanted, where I wanted it. I knew where I wanted to put it. Yes, I knew my stuff was doing things down there, crusty drawers, like mommy confessions. I was horny. Like, I wasn't acting on it because I was like a good church girl. I wasn't acting on it in the way of like, I'm trying to have sex with anybody or anything like that. But like, clothes burning was a thing. Do you remember that?
I don't know what that is.
It's when you're not doing it, but like you all are rubbing up against each other with clothes on. What did y'all call it?
We call it humping.
Humping. Yeah, same thing. Humping. Yep. Yeah. Hunching.
He hunched on me. He hunched on me because the little boys used to do. Now they used to do it all the time to us, but like
Oh yeah.
We did. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
Get some sensation down there. Absolutely. Yeah. Truly. That's what
that's where my mind was.
It was like I was so like
ready.
Like I could have gotten married at 18 because I was truly trying to wait until I was married to have sex. I did not make it, but I was also not 16 when I lost my virginity. But I remember just being a horny. Yes. Listen, I was a very good girl. I was, again, like you, good grades, very active, color guard. I was a dance major at my performing arts school. I was in plays. I was over the praise team dancers at church. All of those things. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is that I was really, and I had finally come into my cuteness. I finally, the awkwardness was like wearing off, and I was finally becoming like, oh, Angel's cute. You know what I'm saying? Like I still had thick eyebrows. They were still unibrow, but people weren't really caring. I finally like I was dressing better. I wasn't dressing as terrible as I was. So because my mother, I was wearing hand-me-downs. I'm the youngest of 4 girls. And nobody's that close to me in age. My sister right above me is 4 years above me. So, like, styles be rotating out. Yeah. And she was thinner than me. So, I couldn't fit half of her clothes. So, that means we're going up to another. Like, my clothes were trash. And my mother was dressing me from Walmart. So, like, I had a best friend that was, she had stretchy clothes that I could wear. And I was showing off,
Showing off all that booty.
Showing off. And so, yeah, a lot of the ways the reason why I danced the way I did, that Quinn's talking about, me and my husband did a video. You can check it out on our Instagram as well as our
check
Facebook.
It out. If you don't do nothing else with your 2020, look at this video.
We both used to dance very ornery. Like I used to basically dance like a stripper. Like I'd be in the splits popping. Come on, time for the percolator. That's how I kind of got out that sexual energy, because I was like, I'm not about to be out here, slobbing on knobs. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not about to be grabbing on dudes thingamajiggers. I was not doing it. But I was like, but I will bust it wide open
on this dance floor.
Bow. Pop, pop, pop. It was crazy. As my mother is a minister. At the time, like finally, my sister Daisy had given her life over to Christ, and she was a minister, and she was like one of those like, fire and brimstone like type of Christians back in the day.
Ooh,
so I remember one time she came to pick me up. Kind of similar story as yours, not as bad. She came to pick me up from my homecoming dance. So I was able to go to school dances, but not like, they had like teen clubs in Lexington. There was no way in hell I would have ever been allowed to go to one of those. I might have went once when I spent the night with my best friend, but outside of that, I never experienced the club life. So I had to do all of this at high school parties, and she came to pick me up. And I had just gotten up out of the splits on the floor. Thank God. I was like, oh my God, did she see me? Did she see me?
Impeccable time.
Yes, because I'm tired. I would lift that leg up and slam it down on the floor.
Ooh, that move.
Yeah.
That's legendary.
Yeah.
You can still do that, right?
No, I got too much weight on me. But once I lose that weight, listen, like I said,
once I lose that weight, that leg is back in the air.
Back.
And that thing is busting back down on the floor.
I'm busting back down. But luckily, my conviction kept me from being hella promiscuous, because I definitely could have made some really bad choices at 16, especially with how my hormones were raging. Like nobody really, my eldest sister My oldest sister, Jackie, she was the one who ended up having the sex talk with me, and it was the worst.
What did she say?
She was like, listen, if you ever need to talk about it, you know, I'll take you out. We go, if you want to get some videos. Like, it was the most awkward. She was like, you know, if you just let me know. Like, and this was on my 16th birthday, I think, that she had this talk with me. Like, we can, yeah, like, if you need to know anything,
I take you to a strip club.
Right, like you get
something.
We go get a video or something like that if you need to see. I was just like, oh my God, because my mother never had to talk with me, and then by the time my other sisters had to talk with me, I was already having sex. It was too late. It was just like, y'all really want to talk about it now? Like, it was more so they were in my business. Like, so are you doing it? And they caught me off guard, so I wasn't able to lie. Like I didn't know it was coming up. And I was like, God, I could have been real. Like I was an actress.
I had a whole storyline ready to go. No,
I am saving myself for Jesus when he returns. So yeah, that was my hormones were crazy. Were your hormones not crazy at 16?
I don't remember my hormones being crazy.
Oh.
But my parents, they didn't have the talk with me per se. They gave me a book though. Yeah. They gave me this book called What's Happening to My Body.
Oh, I've heard people talk about that book, yeah.
And they gave that to me when I was 10. And I didn't get my period until 11. So I was like prepared. And I was comfortable with everything. And my mom talked to me about my body and it being a temple and, you know, everyone's not worthy and preserve yourself. So we talked about that, but like actual.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actual
right,
talk.
And do people do that? Yes, that's what we're going to get into because. Right. Because when do you do it? And are you graphic? Are you like, and so
I plan on being graphic.
Penis goes into the female vagina. Like, do you say that to
I
a
think
kid?
It should.
I
was very comfortable with my body. Like when we had the classes like about your anatomy, I really took those seriously, and I took the ones about the boys' anatomy very seriously.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I was not. It wasn't that I was unaware of what was happening with my body. I just didn't know that my hormones would be so
raging.
Yes, okay. Where I was just like, golly, like I am in heat. I felt like a cat in heat. Yeah. And if it wasn't for the fact that I love the Lord.
Made that song.
Yeah.
My appetite is love. Me so hard.
Yes, I was that very Asian woman from the movie that was a prostitute. That was a sound bite from. He's like, what are you talking about? Me so hard is a sound bite from a movie. I can't remember which movie it was. It's like a movie about people at war, and it was a Asian prostitute. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So,
but yeah,
with that being said, with you and wanting to party and being grown, acting and talking back, and with me being ever so ragingly
crazy
horny, we now have these kids that, you know, we don't know what they will be like. I can imagine Aria being very emotional like yourself, being very dramatic and all of that nature.
She's dramatic now. I
have no idea like what. One, I'm dealing with an opposite gender of myself, so I do not know.
It's going to be different.
But when it comes to the sex talk, like, we've already started kind of slowly sneaking stuff in with little Marcus because...
Oh.
Yeah, because he's 10. Kids having sex at like 12. Like, they shouldn't be, but they doing things.
Some do.
Yeah, the girls already got their neck game down.
They know how to slob.
Yeah.
They know how to cucumber challenge.
Pacifier.
Real good.
Yeah. So, like, I can't wait and think that my child is going to be exempt from the conversations that the friends will begin to have, friends that have gotten a chance to sneak peek and read or see something online and be like, I saw this one woman took a thing and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. Look, Quinn is like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, God. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. It's there.
And my kids, even the 4-year-olds, they already have a bit of the technical sense of the body just because I've had children and they've gone to doctor's appointments with me, so they've seen the internal female body, and I've been like, so the baby's in that's my uterus, and then it'll come out of my vagina. So they're more aware about, like, because there are certain things, like you said, with your book, you felt like you knew what was happening with your body. I don't want them to be ignorant of that part. I don't want them to be too bashful. I mean, obviously, there's a part of puberty that kind of brings about discreetness. Brings about, like, there's a certain age where kids no longer want people to see their body. You know what I'm saying? That is a part of growing up.
You want them to have that, right? You want them to protect their own.
So I understand that regardless of how casual I make the conversation, so that they don't feel like they can't come to me about stuff. There is a part of growing up that will automatically make them go, ooh, I'm kind of embarrassed, right? But I want to try to make it as unembarrassing as possible. Is that, yes, your penis will get erect in the morning for no reason sometimes. It's okay. Yep. That's the part. Your body's working. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean they'll be like, Mom, my penis is erect.
Look at my woodpecker, Mom.
Right. No. Right. Like, I loathe the day when I notice that my son is sleeping way too late in the morning. Because I know what that is. I know those horny years where you want to stay in that dream. You want to stay in it. Did you experience that?
I did not have a wet dream until I was old.
Really?
Yeah.
What was happening with me? It must have been the meat I was eating. See, that's what happens when you not eat organic meat. Okay? It's the hormones.
Yeah, I did not know what that was.
Really?
Really.
My sheets did.
Wow. I didn't get horny until I was pregnant. Like, just like every day. Until like crazy, like that, like what you're describing, until I was pregnant.
Yeah, that didn't come back until I was. No, it was with me in my 20s. But then when I was pregnant, it was like insatiable.
It was like give it to me. Like, what is happening? Yeah. Why is this happening now? That I'm like, big as a house.
You're like, but now I want it. Come on. This house wants a visitor. But okay, so how do you plan on dealing with the emotions and all that stuff? Like, because I mean, little Miss Aria is already very like vocal, very vocal,
very in tune,
and knows how to speak her mind already.
I have a challenge in front of me. Okay. She's a mature 5-year-old.
Yeah, very. Goodness gracious.
She can read books beyond her age, and so she does have a cognitive capacity that I know I'm gonna have to really I'm gonna have to curate my speech and my mental and my emotional around her, because yes, she is at a certain place. Now, she is, the good thing though about her, and I'm thanking God that she's adhered to, is that she does speak her mind. She does speak up, which I love that about her, because I don't have to try to figure out
that's great.
what's going on, right? So I encourage her. You know, if something is bothering you, you tell mommy, you tell daddy, you tell grandma, tell grandpa, you know, or whoever, you know, that loves you, that's around you, you tell them, tell your teacher. If something, it makes you happy, talk about that too. And so she understands that that she has a voice and that her voice will be heard. And so that's like the main thing that I wished for her, and that I hope stays with her as she continues on. I never necessarily got that talk from my parents, like, speak your mind, and how do you feel? It was like, you sit your butt down somewhere, or, or you get popped. You know? And my parents are so loving, so amazing, and but they weren't raised to allow the kid to have this big opinion, this big voice, right? This is a whole new, this is a new parent, right? This is
absolutely,
us. Yes. And so, but it's encouraged because you can see the direct effects, and you can see how they feel empowered and how they feel stronger, and they feel not so scary and so clueless, right? You give them a backbone, I feel like, if you give them permission to just speak up. And I'm not talking about talk back to your parents, and I'm not talking about be sassy. I just mean what is happening inside of you, kid, child, baby, let mommy know, let daddy know. And that is what I just pray and hope that, you know, it stays with her throughout her whole life. I hope she can talk to me when she's an adult, when she becomes a mom, and she feels comfortable enough and open enough. And we you know, we've had the body talk, and she knows the body parts, and we're not calling it nook and tea and noo.
Right.
It's vagina, it's anus, it's parts, and you know what you have, and nobody should be around and touching.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, mommy can help you wash up, you know, but yeah. And even now she's starting to do her own thing, you know, in the shower, and she can handle herself, and she can, you know, take care of her. And you want that. You want to see them grow and progress and mature and handle themselves and speak up for themselves. And I'm just praying that this continues. Like,
Yeah. So what?
Oh Lord.
No. So, well, I don't think. I mean, I would hope not. I don't. For a while, we are the most influential in their life. Then their friends become more influential. Yeah. So, like, what thing about, like, when you were 16 are you hoping does not, like, transpire, or you hope that it does transpire, especially in her social life?
That I've influenced?
That you experienced.
Oh, that I experienced
as a 16-year-old.
And that I hope doesn't.
Or does.
Well, I'm hoping that she is, you know, I hope she feels comfortable enough to do whatever she wants to do. That's how I felt at 16, and it's crazy because I feel like I've since, like, digressed in a way in that area where, like, I was fearless. When I was 16, I was just like, balls to the wall. I'll do whatever. I'll be whatever. I'll try whatever. I'll, you know, try out for this team, try out for that, run for a school office. I was just open to exploring and experiencing life and being, and I'm not drugs, nothing like that. Nah, I wasn't like out there, but I'm just saying, it's at school and at extracurricular, I wasn't so timid. And, but like, for instance, my sisters, they were more timid when it came to school stuff and teams, and they were just like, they would never try out for nothing, and I would be like, yo, go out for basketball, go out for the debate, go out for cheerleading, and they would just be like, no, I'm scared. And I'm like, and I couldn't get that.
Right.
And so that part of me, I hope my daughter has that. Just be brave. Just do it. I mean, it's just so short-lived.
Yeah.
You're only going to be in high school for 4 years. Why not?
You know that I get that. My son, because he's so different than me in a lot of ways, like he's brave in some instances, but some things I have to realize just aren't his cup of tea. It's not that he's scared. It's just not his judge.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I'm like, but it would be so fun. It would be so fun. But I have to realize that his personality is a little bit different than mine. So it's like, you know, sometimes we see that as like, oh, are you afraid of failing or what? But it just might not be
their thing.
Their thing. But go ahead. Sorry.
So I just hope ultimately that she's fearless at that young age when you don't have any real responsibilities yet. You know what I'm saying? And you have your parents backing you up and supporting you in whatever your vision is, whatever your dream is. I hope she can put her foot forward and think for herself and do the thing that stirs her up, that makes her happy. Yeah. No, I get it. What about you?
Oh my goodness. I hope
I want to see.
Or
not want to see.
I hope he doesn't get too caught up with girls. Like, I remember my boyfriend breaking my heart. I remember those things. And while I know that's a part of growing up, you got to experience a little bit of heartbreak or whatever, it's different. I feel like we're used to girls experiencing heartbreak. I cannot imagine seeing my son with his heart broken by some girl and me not punch her and dead in her face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna have to delete that because it's gonna be evidence.
Evidence. Oh, I'll show up to the police station afterwards. Yeah, I punched her in the face because my son was crying in his bedroom because she didn't slept with his best friend.
Teeth
you
are
know
still
what I'm saying?
attached to my knuckle.
To my knuckle.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, so I just, hopefully he take in that way. I hope he takes his. You don't want me punch nobody.
No,
you don't want me punching. That's my. If you're only listening, that's my little 5-month-old sounding off. But I hope he takes on his father's approach. My husband will tell you he didn't really have girlfriends. He dated.
Oh.
But he didn't have girlfriends, so he wasn't attached to girls.
Were they attached to him?
I don't know, but listen, that's
a
on
whole
them.
other.
That's on them. No, he says he was always very honest about his perspective on things. Sorry if y'all hear somebody in the background. My mother's getting some fried. He said he was always very honest with his intentions with her. Okay. So they didn't assume that they were his boyfriend they were his girlfriend or anything like that. So I feel like, that's healthy. However, my son has, the oldest is what I'm referring to, such a big heart. I just don't want him to give that to anyone anytime.
They don't love him.
They are, but these girls just be trifling too. So it's a different.
They
be trifling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my son is about to be this gorgeous, very tall, dimpled face,
dimples,
little boy, very smart. He's talented,
so
and I just don't want him to. I had a big heart, like I did. I had a very big heart. That's how I knew I couldn't be a girlfriend. Like, I realized that as soon as I became an adult, I am not a good girlfriend. I'm a great wife because I love too hard, I give too hard, and it's hard for people to reciprocate that unless they're completely
committed to you and have the same goals in mind.
Yes.
Period.
So I was like, that's the problem. I am a terrible girlfriend because I'm giving too much, but it was too hard for me to figure out how to
that doesn't make you terrible.
No, I'm just saying. It doesn't make me a terrible person. It's just I'm not girlfriend quality.
Not a terrible girlfriend. You're an amazing girl. If you're giving, if you're nurturing, if you're loving, if you're considerate, if you're generous, if you're all those things, you're an amazing girlfriend. But that doesn't translate into a dating scenario.
Yeah.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, longevity. Right. But you are amazing as a girlfriend. Because that translates into amazing wife.
Well, yeah,
they're horrible boyfriends. Horrible.
No, and that's the thing. I wouldn't call them horrible boyfriends. I feel like that was a more realistic. They had more realistic standards of what dating and boyfriend and girlfriend is about. Because I shouldn't be making decisions lifelong or life-altering decisions for a boyfriend.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
That's the type of all in
of intention you have.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I have a wife mentality.
Yes, you do.
I have a very, exactly. So like with my husband, I told him when we were dating, because I figured it out finally, as soon as I know for certain that you aren't the one, I will shut this off because I can't do long-term girlfriend thing anymore. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, so I was going to take this job, but since you live out here, and I was making wife decisions, so that's not, I shouldn't put that on anybody because it's okay if they're not bought in as much as I am, because that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn, I'm the same.
So that's why I was like, I can't. So for him, I was like, while I know you're not there yet, maybe in your head of me being your wife, let me make it clear. If I see that you're not my husband, we can no longer date. We can no longer be boyfriend and girlfriend because this is not.
And
smart.
How long did it take you to realize that your husband could be?
I knew that. I knew he was. I knew he was. After he had the name that God told me my husband had. So I knew he was.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I told you that.
No, I don't know the story.
Oh, God told me my husband's name when I was 12.
Really?
Yeah, and I used to write it in stories and all that stuff.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Did you? Oh, you farted. I'm dead serious. He stinks. My baby does. And so I had known Marcus. I didn't know his middle name until our first date. And then our first date, when he showed me something he had created, he put his initials, M-A-T. And God had told me when I was 12, my husband's name was going to either be like Marcus Antonio or Marcus Anthony, something like that. And when I would write stories, it would always be like Marcus Antonio Taylor or Marcus Anthony Taylor. And then when I saw his and then I knew what his last name was because me and his sisters were friends. We were roommates. It was Marcus. It was said M-A-T. So I was like, Marcus Tanksley. But what's that A stand for? He was like, Anthony. I was like, well, all right, this is the last date I remember going on. In my head, that was like, this is my last first date. Period.
Really?
Yeah.
But he also met your expectations personality wise.
Yes,
like,
yes. I wasn't like, and we're getting married. But I was almost certain. I was like, oh, this is that dude.
The vibe was there.
Yeah, I was like, this is it.
You
right?
didn't like. You wasn't like, he's horrible, but it's M-A-T.
No.
Okay.
I was just.
No, you couldn't have been. Y'all been together for 2 years. Yeah, I got a beautiful family.
But yeah.
But it was
I knew,
wow.
Yeah, and so like, you know, as he began to show me more and more of who he was, like I became more and more solid on this is that, like, yup, this is it, this is yup, right, this is the one. This
I love it
because I wasn't quick to want to jump into it being married because I know divorce is real. Yeah. So I was like, wow. I'm pretty sure you're it. We're going to figure this out. But if I see the sign that this ain't it, forget the name. Bye. Sorry. No bueno. So luckily my son has his dad. So he doesn't have just my dating experiences. Right. I only had my like kind of watching my mom from a distance and then my sister's experiences. And they've had some tough ones. So I didn't really have like a healthy way to really like, okay, I knew like I don't want to do those things, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So hopefully that will be beneficial to him that like he has a dad, not to say that Marcus has been perfect in his, dating arena, but he'll have two perspectives.
Yeah.
That will help him hopefully not do the same stupid stuff. I was just doing stupid, giving way too much, way too soon, like a goddamn idiot. So I hope he doesn't do that. Because I don't know the first time my son, if I have to see him cry over a chick, it's just the mama bear.
The mama bear.
Like, can you imagine seeing Arya cry over a dude? Like, you would be crying with her, I'm sure.
I'm a killer.
Right, exactly.
My parents had to witness that in high school. I got my heart broken.
Yeah, and it's hard.
It was bad. I didn't want to go to school. My dad was like driving me to school, like, you gotta go to school, baby. I'm like,
I don't want to go to school.
He's like, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna get through this, baby. Baby, you made it through.
Yeah, you did. My mother bought me a Freakum dress. After
really?
That was like one of the coolest moments ever. Oh. She saw how broken I was. We went to the mall. Got me this banging. Went to school the next day.
Honey,
this is what you're missing. Bang. Bang.
Okay.
Like that's one thing. Like if that were to happen, we doing something that you gonna stunt on all these broads.
Buy my Benz.
Exactly. We going into
roll up
so you can show. Yeah, so that's the big one. But but the same thing that you said, like I hope he's fearless. Like, I hope they're not as fearless because there are consequences to some fearlessness, and I think that's a part of being a teenager. We're ignorant that some of our fearlessness, we're not even aware of the consequences. If this goes left,
this goes left, I'm gonna lose my whole left side of my body.
Exactly.
My mama's gonna yank it off of me.
Right. But I do want the fearlessness of, like it's okay to. Like failure is not the worst thing ever.
Right.
So like
failure is educational.
Exactly. Yes. So I want him to have that type of, Yes. Yeah.
He gonna have it. I mean, he's got 2 immersion parents.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to see. Just because I've known little Arya since she was a baby, to see her as a 16-year-old, to see what she puts you through is. I mean, because I can already imagine her taste for clothing is going to be expensive. So I pray God for provision for you.
Please pray. Because she asked me now, Mommy, is this swag?
You did that to her, though. You did it. You did it.
I did.
And I just can't wait to see you be like, oh yeah, let's put this together.
But it's cute and it's fun. And you know what? To my baby's credit, and I love this about her. You know, she has this thing now where she'll say, but it's not about being beautiful. It's about what's on the inside, Mommy. And
That's
I'm like,
what pretty people always say.
right, like Alicia Keys, like, no makeup. Well,
look at your face.
No makeup.
Look
Alicia.
at your face.
Did you look in the mirror yesterday or today?
Yeah.
But she has this thing, and I'm like, I love that you understand that concept. Because no, it's not all about looks, and she's gorgeous, but it's not about that. And I'm so happy that she can articulate that and understand that. That's the most important thing. And so what leads her is how she treats people in her spirit, and not like,
oh, when
swag.
If we raise the mean kid, I hope I don't.
But I don't want to raise a punk either. And
you would like, I'll take the mean kid over the
punk.
other
thing. No, I'll take the punk over the mean kid. I don't want the mean kid. I don't want no teacher calling me talking about Aria beat up. Nah, I'm good. I don't want that. I'd rather get the call and say, well, Aria got into a fight. The kids. I mean, I don't.
You want somebody that will defend themselves, but
that's what I was just about to say.
But don't prey on people that they think are weaker than them.
Defend yourself. We literally just had this conversation where she was like, Mommy, is it, if someone hits me, I'm not supposed to hit them back, right? And I was like, and I had to stop because I was about to say, girl, no, you hit them back. But I had to stop. I was like, well, if they hit you once, if they just push you or they just hit you once, don't hit back right away.
Look at you.
I said, you run and you tell the teacher. Okay? If you're at school and this happens to you, you run and you immediately, because then you're still in the right. You didn't do any, because two wrongs don't make it right. That's what they're going to say.
Right.
So you're still in the right. So go tell the teacher right away. Now, if they hit you multiple times in a row,
get in that tail.
You better defend yourself. Well, I can hit them back. Yes.
Turn
them back. Do not let somebody just pound on you, smack you. If they hit you multiple, you have to fight back, and that is okay. Defending yourself is okay. You never hit anybody first, and if they only hit you once, tell the teacher. But damn it, if they hit you, baby, you better.
Listen, you better know her child's in a private school. She's like, now if they hit you one time, we need you to still be in the graces. So go to that teacher first, okay? Because we're trying to stay up in this magnificent school.
I mean, and it's gonna depend. Because if they push her down once, baby, you get up and I just can't even. I just don't. Please don't hurt my baby. Please don't hit my baby. I won't be able to handle it.
Let me tell you, me and Marcus have two different perspectives, and I know people who have daughters, they will have a different perspective than me on this. Like, you know, a lot of boys are raised, you never put your hands on a girl, right? And I agree with that. But I am not here for a chick getting away with busting my child, by abusing my child in any way. You smack my child, for me, he has the permission to slap the crap out of you. Like, I am not here for the being an emotional female and you think you can haul off and pop my child. Because if he don't, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Because hitting is wrong across the board. So if a girl hits a boy, she's wrong. If a boy hits a girl, he's wrong.
Of course. Yeah. But my husband and his brother, we talked about this on our last podcast of 2019. They're both like, they don't ever see. Now, granted, my husband has mushed a chick in the face, so he's because she was grabbing on him. She was drunk and grabbing on him in a club. It was in Vegas. It was while we were married, and he was like, she was aggressive, so I mushed her in the face down to the ground.
I mean,
but he's like, as far as it like hitting a girl, anything, he was like, I definitely am about restraining a female, but I necessarily
haul off
won't
and hit
if she's hitting me.
And I think it's totally different with men, women, and kids. A man's strength against a woman, adults we're talking about, and then 2 5-year-olds on the play yard, I think it's a totally different
and
amount
I'm still
of.
talking about teenagers. I'm not talking about little 5-year-olds. We're all the same. Y'all all the same gender right now. Shoot,
Yeah,
come on.
Same strength, give or take. Right. I don't think you get the sexual dimorphism until after puberty, where the testosterone is a little bit more and they're stronger
As 16-year-olds, if a 16-year-old girl hits my son, me and my husband have 2 different stances, and if he doesn't hit her, I'm going to hit her mama. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna be like. I'm gonna hit her mama or her daddy. I'll be like, since my son decided to be more of a gentleman than I raised him to be, I'm about to haul off and pop your mom in the face. So I pray that people.
I think that's fair.
But no, really, I feel like because especially we're in a day and age, and it's great that we're like, women defend yourselves, women have been taken advantage of, but there has to still be a correction of just because you're an emotional person,
you do not have the right authority, stance, position to haul off and hit a man.
Especially when they think that the dude is a gentleman and won't
hit them back.
Yeah,
because I don't. Yeah, I don't walk around. We don't walk around hitting men. Like, that's not.
No,
you don't.
I've always lived under the guise of, if I haul off and hit a man, I better be ready to fight him.
Yeah,
like we're going to blows.
My dad raised me that way.
Yeah,
and he raised my brother to never put his hands on a woman. But he also said, I need you to know, daughters, there's 3 of us. If you ever decide that you have enough cojones,
come on,
to smack or punch a man, be prepared. Because I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah.
So if he hauls off and smacks the crap out of you or punches you, I can't help you. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
And if he does it to you first, then I'm kicking his ass, and then we go into the cop.
That's
a whole other thing.
Right.
But right.
I slapped my boyfriend once in high school, but I was ready. I was ready for the full fight.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
So you was that kind of girl.
Yeah,
so when you said all in.
Yeah. No, he crossed the line to the point where I was just like, oh, okay, I need to fight you. Like, we need to go to blows. He was just really, he came to a play that I was in, and I forewarned him that there was a sex scene. I wasn't naked in it, but it was still a sex scene, and his just behavior was so immature, and he had the nerve to come over to my house and eat the food that I had made for him and be immature. And I was like, all right, let's do this. I hauled off and slapped him. I was
Gangsta boo right here.
He walked away. He was the bigger person, but I was ready. I was ready to bust holes in the wall. I mean, at the time, I was strong. Okay, like it was going to be a sweaty fight, and I don't know who would have won, but it would have been close regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that. Yeah. That's the only time I've ever put my hands on a dude with the thought of, let's do this.
Oh my gosh.
I did.
I can't even picture you doing that. Like, you're so sweet. I cannot picture
him.
You getting ready to go to blows with a dude. Like,
I did. He had crossed, and he knew he was like hitting points. I was still dead wrong, but he knew he was like hitting on nerves that was going to make me explode. I don't think he was expecting me to slap him.
Oh my gosh.
But and that was me slapping him, was me actually pulling back because I wanted to close fist punch him dead in his face. Yeah, I did, but I was willing to fight. It wasn't going to be a thing of, he's a dude, why did he hit me? It was going to be a thing of, when the police got called, I did start it, and then when I picked up the glass bottle to begin to try to cut him, that's when I stopped, thinking rationally. But when I hit him originally, I was in my rational mind, slapping him.
Just so you know.
Write that down. Okay, guys, so we have hit on so many things, and I would love to hear what you all think about it. One, if you have a teenager, what was it like? What is it like? What is going on?
Please let us know.
Is it different? Do you now see yourself in your child? Do you see now what you did with your parents? Or are you like, who is this alien of a person that I have in my household? And then let's sound off about this last part that we talked about. What is your stance with your children when it comes to the policy of putting hands on folk? I mean, most people are very much so, teaching their child, please defend yourself. But like, if you have boys and if you have girls, what is your stance on? If you put your hands on somebody, like, where does it go? Do you expect, like, if it's your daughter, no man better hit her, but are you teaching her don't you put your hands on no man?
Right.
Like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
I want to know. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. As always, Mommy Confessions is a Thursday show, so you can get it on podcast, Facebook, YouTube on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Please follow my dear friend and co-host, Quinn Walters,
at Quinn Walters.
Only one N in that Quinn.
Yes, one in, guys.
One in. And you can follow me at That Chick Angel across all platforms. This podcast you can follow at Mommy Confessions Show on IG, as well as at That Chick Angel Mommy Confessions on Facebook, and you can watch it on YouTube at That Chick Angel TV. Well, he's mad because y'all are not following him. He is at Tank Sleep Pride on IG. Okay,
Follow the baby.
I told her where they can follow him.
It's okay.
Well, I'm attend to my boo boo, and you all have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.